Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today is part 3 of my 250th anniversary collection blind tournament. I don't know, it's not really a tournament, but 4 more bottles that have 250th anniversary attached to them. So we'll see how they go today. But first, let's do a giveaway. Oh, I got the sound on. Okay. And this is for the Little Book and Booker's 2602 giveaway. And Rishi, long-time supporter of the channel, congratulations, buddy. I've been checking lately to make sure there's no sound during that part, and I failed to check today. That's what happened. I'm actually waiting for UPS and FedEx to come before I go outside the house to go run some errands, because there's more bottles of these 250th releases coming. And of course, when you buy stuff directly from the websites, they make you sign for it. So lots of bottles coming in that I don't want to miss, because obviously I'm trying to record these videos. I'm not sure what bottles are in this lineup. I have probably 8-ish bottles that this could be out of, so we'll see whatever my wife put together for today. So let's get right into the nose on A. All right, A on the nose, cherry, strawberry, sweet oak. All those notes were really good. I was like really enjoying it. Then a little bit of funkiness started showing up the more I was nosing it. So that kind of brought it down a little bit, but overall still a pretty good nose. So let's go to B. All right, I love the nose on B. And I wrote stuff down that I laughed at myself. So let me try to explain this. So I wrote darker yet brighter. And the reason I wrote that is as soon as I got to the nose on B, it seemed richer, darker than A, but at the same time, like brighter red fruit. So that's why I wrote that. Deep red fruit, sweet, a slight leathery note. The nose on B is this nice like red fruit, oaky sweetness. Not oaky, I didn't write oaky. I misspoke. But just like a deeper, richer nose. I don't know. I really enjoyed the nose on B. Good red fruit there. Let's go to C. All right, C, they're getting progressively darker. So C's a darker profile on the nose. Woody, a slight coffee, darker, a savory aspect to it. Smoky question mark. It gave me a unique experience there that I haven't had in a while. In a good way, nothing was off-putting at all. It wasn't like musty or bad oaky or anything like that. It was just a little darker as opposed to like fruit forward, or it wasn't like really coming off sweet to me, but very nice. I did like that. Again, the noses actually have been decent. Only really that little funkiness, but I enjoy all the noses. We're gonna have a great group today. Exciting. If you guys have been following along on this little series so far, this is episode 3. So part 1 was Part B was kind of a roller coaster, but today on the nose, decent so far. So let's go to D. I'm writing down a note. It's ridiculous. All right, so D, I know I was saying how nice A through C were, and then I got to D, and I didn't like it immediately. And I think it's just because it was so different. As again, another different experience here. And not in the best direction, but not the worst. It was just different. So woody butterscotch, a slight, I'm not taking off the slight part. It was sourness. There was a good amount of sourness there. A spice and almost like a hot dog note. And that's why I was laughing, because I was writing hot dog. So again, I probably know I've never said before, but these notes are all over the place. And it makes it very unique and interesting, but I don't know if I want to be drinking hot dog whiskey. I know SLB did like a hot dog thing a while ago, like a cocktail thing. But yeah, I'm not going to want hot dog whiskey. But we'll see how it tastes. But the nose on it is definitely unique for sure. So let's get into palate on A. I mean, I don't think this is like the nose at all. And it started off not so good. Damn it. So it came off very ethanol forward. In the beginning, crafty, which you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of the crafty notes. It started getting a little bit better. Red fruit, a good amount of nuttiness, a slight black licorice note, on the finish kind of continued those notes into a nutty peanut shell, slight black licorice note. Not terrible. It started off not my favorite, but it kind of turned out a little bit better than the beginning. It is the first sip of the day, so I'm hoping the second sip will be a little better. But I don't usually like getting those ethanol notes, because to me that's just young aged whiskey, because it's not getting the oak influence to kind of put away those ethanol notes. So we'll see. Second sip didn't make it any better. I actually wrote ethanol on the finish this time. That's like the only new note. The ethanol note, if anything, got a little bit, not stronger, but more throughout the experience. Where on the first sip, it was kind of just in the beginning. I don't know. I wouldn't say it got better the second sip. Hopefully the third sip, we'll see. Yeah, this isn't my favorite. Between the ethanol notes and the nutty notes that it has, the nutty notes aren't my favorite type of nuttiness. It's more like the nutty shells, like peanut shells. That's probably like, I probably have to have like a tier list of my nutty favorites. Like peanut butter will be up here, and like disgusting, like rotten nuts will probably be way down here somewhere. But that nutty peanut shell is, towards the bottom. Over here, like in my head really quickly going over different nutty stuff. The Carlos Garcia nutty tasting pyramid of greatness. All right, let's go to B before I get too crazy into this nutty stuff. All right, so B on the first sip. This is like a bourbon right down the middle of the home plate here. Nothing too crazy. It's red fruit, it's oak, it's sweet, slight peanut note, vanilla. On the finish, red fruit, vanilla, oak, a slight nutty hazelnut direction as opposed to peanut, like on the palate. Pretty good, nothing wrong with it. Typical bourbon. If this is a cheaper offering, I think this is pretty decent. I don't know the price, obviously. You guys are probably seeing it somewhere at this point. I was able to find a lot more information on the distillery websites for part 2, so I'm hoping for part 3 will be similar. And I don't have to use Google for everything. Let's go to second sip. Second sip, same notes basically. What I did notice on this sip was that it tasted thin to me, but there's still, you can taste a little proof there. So I don't think it's like crazy low proof. A lot of these are, actually some of them are pretty low proof, but I don't know. I don't think this is like low proof. I wonder if this was out of the barrel a high proof and they just used so much water to get it down. I don't know. It just drank a little thin to me. Not that rich notes that you get like right out of a barrel. But besides that, the notes are, again, if this is cheap enough. Now, if you saw part 2, there was a bottle there that was $155. So if this is like that again, I don't think it's worth that. I'll start predicting the cost of these bottles. Like, what would I pay for this, not knowing what they are? Anyways, third sip. B is a little confusing for me. That first, or the third sip there, but on the palate I was trying to get to, it kind of got a little bit worse. Just like nothing that was like stand out, like this is bad oak or something like that. Just tasted a little bit off, but okay. And the finish got a little bit more like red Jolly Rancher sweetness, like a little bit better. So kind of balanced itself off. It's good. Again, that's 100% something. If it's, I'll give it an extra $10 just because these are special releases for the 250th anniversary. I'll give up to like $60. This is under $60. I think that's a buy, I guess, without knowing anything else besides me tasting it and knowing it's a 250 bottle. But hopefully, I don't know, it's gonna be like $200 bottle. Actually, there's a bottle, what's it called? Lost Lantern. Lost Lantern has a bottle out that is using whiskey from the 13th original colonies, and that's supposed to be their 250th anniversary bottle. It's $200, so I didn't buy that. However, I did buy the bottle that's whiskey from all 50 states. Technically, that's not their 250th version, but my buddy bought 2 of them, and I'm getting it from him. So if that gets in time for this series, I'm debating if I have a spot for it to put it in or not, because it's technically not their 250th version, but it's like released around the same time. And it's basically the same concept. It's just half the price and it's cash rent. So why wouldn't you? Man, I thought the concept was crazy. They literally blended whiskey from all 50 states to make this blend. I think that's pretty cool that you were able to get whiskey from every state. We'll see if it's good or not. Either way, I'm definitely going to do a review of it if it doesn't get into the 250s. I don't know if it's actually going to get in time anyways, but if you guys heard about the Lost Lantern stuff, you know, let me know about it. I know someone was asking to find the bottle earlier. I don't know if they all sold out already, but I know the 250th 13 original colony one was $200. I'm like, I'm trying not to spend that much money on these releases. Cool concept though. I like the concept that they took whiskey from the 13 original colonies to make it. All right, let's go C on the palate. Man, that is so different and good at the same time. That is really good. It's good but different. This is 100% not gonna be for everyone. This kind of reminds me of Detling. When if you guys have been around a little bit and you guys saw my top 25 of 2025 series, and Detling was a part of a couple of those videos. It was very, very dark. It's not at that point, it's not really that close to it, but it reminds me of that type of profile. Very interesting. So dark, woody, leather, smoky, which on the nose I wrote smoky question mark. I'm starting to understand what that note is. Dark fruit, rich, oak. On the finish, dark, woody, sweet, dark fruit, rich. I'll say the sweetness, I was actually thinking about that on the palate. I was like, oh, it's not really sweet. It's almost drying. But on the finish, it gave you more sweetness. So it kind of, on the palate, kind of dried out your tongue a little bit. But on the finish, it kind of on-dried it. It wet it. I don't, did kind of like the reverse aspect of that or whatever situation. But very different, but good. It's definitely a mood pour though, I think. Let's go to second sip. Linger lasted a while too. Again, the notes are pretty much the same. There was giving me some kind of like cigar tobacco vibes. I was like, it's not really cigar tobacco. So I wrote cedar because I think that was kind of direction it was leading me to. Again, it's that darker profile in general. On the finish, I wrote proof spice. This seems to be I don't want to say a huge jump, but significantly proofier than the first two. There's a spice there, and I'm just gonna say it's a proof spice as opposed to like a rye spice. There are some ryes, part of the 250th collection stuff. I don't know if this is a rye per se, but to me it seems more of like a proof spice versus a rye spice. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not a professional. But let's get into the third sip. So on third sip, I took a smaller sip this time. And sometimes I'll like mess around with how much I actually put in my mouth. That sounds so wrong. But it tasted with a little bit or the less amount of whiskey. It was more dark fruit, which was already there, but more a chocolatey note with it. So I did write chocolate, and on the finish, a slight nuttiness. Very good, very unique. I do like that. Well, let's go to D. Timeout. What just freaking happened? I don't know if it's coming off as C or what, but D tastes like red vinegar, and that's not okay. So I think I might have to drink some water or something because that is way off. So let me drink some. I usually don't do this, but this was the one that had a weird nose. Let's go second sip and see what happens. Second sip, first sip after water, also wasn't that good. I'm still getting that like red vinegar note. Super strange. I don't think I ever got that note before. And it almost makes me think that's like bad. Because when you get vinegar in wine, that usually means that the wine's bad. On the palate, I wrote red vinegar light, and that was it. And on the finish, red vinegar, chocolate, nutty. The finish did get better. So I'm hoping, because I'm probably going to do 4 sips, so I'm just not going to really count the first sip. But I'm hoping it's going to get better, because that would be crazy to me. All right, it did get better. However, as soon as I take a sip, that red vinegar note is right there front and center. It did get a little bit butterscotch and woody on the palate and the finish. Overall, that red vinegar note is just too strong to say this is good. Whoosh. One more sip. Whatever this is, if you have it at home, please go pour some right now and let me know if you're getting a vinegar note, especially right on the front of the palate. Right away when you sip on it. Yeah, fourth sip actually got worse than that third sip. The third sip was my favorite one. The red vinegar note's there again. So weird. Oh man, this is just like, I guess last video where I kind of have like 2 that I enjoy and 2 I really don't. So, I'm gonna take a break here, drink some water, AB these, and come back with some results and any new notes. Be right back. All right, well, that was very interesting. And when I was looking up, because, you know, I go back and forth a bunch, write down all my notes, and then I find out what the bottles are. And once I figure that out, I try to find the prices. And yeah, let's talk about the prices a little bit. But while I was on my phone, I got a little thing that popped up, says, hey, 10 whiskeys for the US 250th anniversary. I'm like, funny, that's what I'm currently doing right now. And it's an article from the Spirit Business. I'm sure you can Google it or whatever, but it says the 10 whiskeys for the US, you know, 250th anniversary, and 2 of the bottles. Oh, I usually have the bottles in front of me right now. I just wanted to show this, so I gotta grab the bottles now. 2 of the bottles in here, because you guys already seen them, is the 4 Branches and the Breckenridge. It's in here somewhere. So I thought that was interesting that 2 out of the things we did today were on this top 10 list. Now, some of these bottles weren't even on my like top or my 50 bottle list. Like this Chicken Cock Old Glory Kentucky Straight Rye Blend. I mean, I don't see anything that says 250 or anything. Some of these aren't necessarily 250 releases. They're just maybe historical bottles and stuff like that, and they're just saying like Jefferson. So Jefferson Founder Reserve 20-year-old. You know, that's not a. It does say celebrate 250 years on it. You know what? I don't think that was on my list. Anyways, let's get into these 4 bottles. All right, I just thought it was very interesting that article popped up while I was doing this. But anyway, so let's get into this real quick. Let's do a giveaway. If you want 2-ounce samples of all 4 of these, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with 250 part 3. Almost said 4. All one word. We're just continuing that whole thing. And I just realized that I had all 4 of these last night. So all of these I ordered online, so they just been coming to the house. I wonder if my wife just got these because they're right in front of the group, I guess. But I brought 5 bottles with me last night to my friend's house. We watched the USA game last night, go America, beating Bosnia. Man down in awe. But I was like, everyone, you guys got to drink these bottles because I need some air in them. So obviously there was one that we drank a little bit more because that one's got a good dent in it. And there was one more. What was it? I can't see. I think it's behind the box over there. But I brought 5 over there. None of the bottles that are currently here are unopened. So these definitely got a little bit more air into it. I'm going to bring a couple more bottles tonight because we're going to go see Portugal play at a cigar lounge. So more bottles to open up and drink. So let's get into these. In last place was this 4 Branches Liberty Reserve. The score of 2.5. One cool thing about this is that the bottles, there's only 1,776 bottles. So this is bottle 1,094. I couldn't, when I was A-Bing this one, specifically with the Breckenridge, that vinegar note was just too strong for me. And I don't remember getting that note last night when I was drinking this. So I'm very curious on what the heck happened. So if you have this at home, please let me know what your thoughts about it on. But I couldn't get past that. So I scored a pretty low score with a 2.5. And this is actually the most expensive bottle up here at $120 plus shipping. So again, I got all these online. So plus shipping on all of these prices. But 120 for this is bad. So in third place was Breckenridge, and it has a little neck tag on it, very patriotic coloring. It's funny because this is all like red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue, and then like the military one, 4 branches. That's the 4 branches, 4 different branches of the military. Obviously now we have 6, but it's military guys that did this from 4 different branches. So that's the whole thing there, but it's not like red, white, and blue. Everything else is just, I thought that was a little funny. But back to this Breckenridge. This Breckenridge is $40. And it's a low proof. It's 84 or 86 proof. Nothing crazy. For $40, you know, I scored 2.9. It's not a good score. It did taste ethanol-y to me, but not terrible. You know, if you want a cheap alternative that gives you that 250th. You have one for July 4th. You know, maybe not the worst option. Maybe something for your guests that don't really drink whiskey. Maybe they're gonna throw some rock or over ice. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. 2.9 is not a good score either, but it was still better than the Liberty one, even with those ethanol in those. But for the price, that's the thing with this one. The price is not that bad. So then it came down to this Swilled Dog, West Virginia University Stars and Stripes Americana Edition, Batch 1, 102 proof, straight bourbon whiskey. Does say 9 years on it. And, you know, it's West Virginia logo and everything. So I've never had anything from Swilled Dog before. So interesting. I did enjoy it. I scored a 3.3. Came in second place, by the way. Nothing too crazy. And I said if it was around 60 bucks, I thought that'd be good. It's $100 again, plus shipping. So I think I don't think that price point is good. Now it's 9 years. I don't know. I still think it tastes more, or it should be around like a $60-ish bottle. Okay, nothing wrong with it, but I wish it was a little cheaper. And then today's winner is another, actually, I never had anything from any of these three distilleries. I have had Breckenridge before, but these three, I've never had anything from. This is from High Bank from Columbus, Ohio. This is Whiskey War. Actually, I've had Whiskey War products before. I just don't own any bottles that I'm aware of. This is Double Double, a blend of straight whiskeys handcrafted in small batches, finished in the second and third new oak barrels. And that's probably where I got all that woodiness and dark profile from, is the double oaked aspect to this. I scored this a 3.8, decent score. It is $110, which, again, this would be the only one on the table right now that I would buy. If I had to do this over again, this would be the only one I would buy out of these four for whatever prices they are. I definitely want to buy this one. This one is just too expensive for what it is. And even though this is cheap, I just don't, I would rather just save those $4 and just put it towards something else like this. Because I just like the experience so much better with this Whiskey War. So this would be the one I would recommend. It is a little bit more expensive. I don't know, you know, I obviously got it on the internet. You know, it's available unless they all sold out. But this would be the one I enjoy out of these four. But again, this is another one of these roller coaster videos, just like part 2, where we have 2 not so good ones and one decent for sure. This one, I do like this one a lot. This one's good too, just the price isn't the best. But anyway, so that's today's video. What's gonna happen on Monday? Who knows? More bottles are coming. I 100% thought while I was recording this video, UPS or FedEx was gonna come. Still waiting. I keep hearing like trucks go by. I'm thinking it's gonna ring the doorbell, but still waiting on these bottles. Just stuck at home waiting to sign for stuff. Anyways, so today's July 3rd. For you guys, I'm recording this July 2nd, but so I hope you guys all have a great 4th of July weekend. Don't do anything stupid like blow off some fingers, because you know it's harder to hold a Glencairn with less fingers. Just be smart about it. If you do, don't get caught. Bye.